Hello everyone, thank you for tuning in to my final paper proposal for Econ 362. Today I'll be discussing executives and paternity leave. So as many of you know, I'm interested in many topics in this course. In fact, I was originally interested in the impact of international trade on the environment, but contrary to popular belief, that seemed to be a bit broad. Who would have thought? Not only that, I lacked the impact of gender in my original proposal. Thankfully, I had brilliant peer reviewers in Annie and Anders to not only lead me to refocusing my proposal, but changing it completely. My new refocused topic considers the impact of executives taking paternity leave and its influence and acceptance for other dads to take paternity leave also. Moreover, would their leave encourage other dads to do so? My scope will be companies in the United States over the past 30 years. So you may be thinking, how did you get from international trade to paternity leave? And I think I can contribute that to my own personal experience. Paternity and maternity leave has always struck me as something we can improve on in the United States. My interest was spiked on many levels, but especially when thinking about my own situation growing up. With 4 kids under 4 in our household, my parents needed to take turns having paternal leave to make sure we stayed alive. That being said, my parents, especially my dad, took years off of work in order to do so. I didn't realize until this class the stigma behind paternity leave. However, after looking at my CSD and seeing the different family-friendly policies in countries, I wondered, should this be treated on a micro or macro scale? And how do we get a society to move from a 12-week unpaid leave to a mandatory 6-month paid leave? Some research shows that the perception of paternity leave will not change until high-ranking bosses take leave themselves. So, if executives take more time off, will this aid in increasing the amount of paternity leave taken? This is all great, you might think, and possibly interesting, but what does it have to do with class? If we backtrack to our discussion regarding gender and work, we recall that women disproportionately spend more time with household work and unpaid work than men do. This goes for developing and developed countries. We know that time is a scarce resource. Therefore, something must give. Fully employed women bear the burden of working a full day and handling more housework than men, which accumulates into more responsibilities than their counterpart. However, the stigma facing both men and women regarding time spent with children is daunting. Women may be reluctant to leave their children for the fear of looking like a bad mother. Men, on the other hand, feel pressure and mocking in the workplace due to socially structured gender roles of parenting and being the quote-unquote breadwinner. With a stigma in place, men find it harder to take work off, even if they want to. So how can we change the perception and encourage more fathers to take paternity leave? In my first source, it deals primarily with the theory behind why dads choose not to take paternity leave. Simply put by a professor from the University of Oregon, it is stigmatized to leave your job as a father, that is. The article's purpose is to analyze some of the reasons dads choose to not take paternity leave. A note I found interesting is that a cause may be that executives don't take much time off at all. Only 15% take time off. Moreover, men who are active caregivers get teased and insulted at work more than so-called traditional fathers and men without children. The perception of paternity leave is unlikely to change until more high-ranking bosses take leave themselves, and more organizations develop methods that allow fathers to stay connected to work without taking away from bonding time with an infant. In my second source, Ankita Patnaik pointedly emphasizes the impact of paternal leave policies and their consequences for inequality. She argues, in order to motivate fathers to participate in parental leave, several nations have reformed their leave programs to offer higher benefits and institute daddy-only quotas. Though fathers' participation increases when a quota is introduced, it is unclear whether fathers are responding to financial incentives or the change constraint or the daddy-only label in itself. However, she notes that this may temporarily change the division of labor in the household, but little is known if these effects persist over time. However, implementing a quota has had benefits. This suggests that one of the reasons daddy quotas are effective is that they produce a labeling effect from the daddy-only label. These findings highlight that there need not be a trade-off between gender equality and parental time with children, but that by encouraging fathers to participate in parental leave, we can distribute household responsibilities more equally and actually increase total time investments in children. And in my final resource, Michael Kimmel's work deals with questioning what men want in the realm of work. He argues that traditionally, a man's ability to bring home a paycheck defined him. However, today, while many wives of male chief executives still stay at home, spouses of most other men work. These two trends are forcing men to redefine themselves. He states a new organization man has emerged, one who wants to be involved as a father without a loss of income, prestige, and corporate support, and no diminished sense of manhood. However, many companies still deem dedication to career as the sole marker of professional success. Therefore, men aren't taking advantage of a company's paternal leave policies. For instance, he is more likely to use sick days to take care of his child than taking paternity leave. Senior managers are beginning to realize if they don't develop strategies to accommodate family needs, they may lose some of the most ambitious men and women. Undoubtedly, this topic can be branched out in many different facets. If I were to continue studying this, I may want to learn more about companies who are currently offering extensive packages for paternity leave and its effects on the growth of the company. Secondly, aggregating data is one of the biggest issues for economists. If I were to look into this, I would want to run a regression on different factors that I believe might influence people's decisions to take paternal leave and why they might not. Lastly, doing a comparison with other companies who have had some best practices regarding family-friendly policies. I might also want to look into companies in Norway or a branch of an American company in Norway and see if their policies differ from each other. That being said, that is the extent of my work to this point, and I hope you've enjoyed it.